being a part of this conversation. Hey everyone, welcome to this conversation. This is the first one for this year, and I am really excited to share with everybody some strategies to support you in making 2023 the best year of your life. Now, I've heard lots and lots and lots of people say that, but the reason that a lot of people do not accomplish what it is that they want to accomplish is because they don't understand what is really calling the shots at an unconscious level. And if you have been on my shows for any length of time, then you know one of my favorite quotes is, if we do not make our own conscious, it will control our lives and we will call it fate. And that is the very thing why people set goals up for the new year and they don't achieve them, is because they set things up in a way that literally validates what they believe is possible, right? And this is your unconscious. This is why we want to do everything we can to make our unconscious conscious, so that we can literally reprogram the automatic nervous system within ourselves. Because by the time we're 35 years of age, 95% of our life is automatic unless we get intentional about changing those automatic programs. And so I have a question for everybody. What is your purpose? What is your purpose in life, and why is that important? What is your purpose in life? So please comment down below, what is your purpose in life? And by the way, all those on TikTok, if you guys would get me to 5,000 likes, I will give you a copy of my international best-selling book. So I would love to share that with everybody. By the way, if you guys are on here, jump over to TikTok. I'm putting a lot of content over there. There is some reasons why I'm doing that is just because TikTok is a much more engaging process. We have Seema in the house. So if you are brave enough and courageous enough, please share what your purpose is. And if you don't know what your purpose is, this gets to be a great conversation for you then. Why are you put on this earth? Like, I want you to think about that question. You are living this thing called life. What is the reason for your life? What is it that you want to make your life mean? This is the dash, right? From the time we were born, like, I can't remember who said it. The two most important days in your life is when you came into this world and the day you figure out why you're here, right? And the reason this is super, super important, if you don't know why you are here, you are going to be susceptible to what somebody else is going to make you believe why you are here, right? Because without clarity, guess what is guess what the opposite of clarity is? It's confusion. And if we have confusion, we are going to have chaos. We are going to have anger. We are going to have frustration. We are going to be breaking down all the time. We're going to have no meaning in life, and life is not going to be very enjoyable because I've been around the sun a few times, okay? I've been around the sun a few times. And the more times I've been around the sun, the more I recognize that time is finite. We are in a finite dimension of time, right? And when you're younger, you think you have an infinite amount of time, and don't ever do a science project again or you will lose your hair. Oh, so who is that? A fee? I love being bald. Thank you for that. I'm assuming Mr. Hanley is also a very handsome gentleman. But I want you to think about what is your purpose, right? Because your focus, where you put your attention, is literally your life force, okay? So what are you giving it to? What are you giving your life force to? And here's another thing I really, really want to emphasize for everybody that's watching this. Whoever invests the most into your mind has most of your money. What I mean by that is, are you putting your attention to TV channels, to programs, to the news, to different things that really have nothing to do to making you more expanded version of who you are, and things that are not invested into making the best version of who you are, right? These are super important distinctions to make, because your purpose, what if your purpose was your energetic signature that you were put on this earth to create, so that everybody else in the world gets to have the opportunity to find out what is really possible because you represent that? What if that's your purpose? And see, then once we understand what our purpose is, now I would encourage everybody. Actually, I'm going to be posting this on TikTok. I have it saved as a draft and I'll be posting this later. Everybody should watch the movie Fight Club. That is such an amazing movie. But there's this scene in Fight Club where he takes this Asian guy out of his convenience store, puts him down on the ground and says, what is it you wanted to do in your life? What is it that you wanted to be dreaming of? And he said, I want to go back to school. And he's like, if I had to come back here in a year and you haven't gone back to school, I am going to end your life, right? See, the thing that happens, friends, we have all been conditioned and indoctrinated to domesticate our dreams, right? How is that possible? Is because we were raised in an educational system that classifies everything as passing and failing, right? Like you've got to stay between the lines and understanding that achieving and manifesting your dreams is everything but staying in the lines, right? You have to challenge what it is that you believe is possible. You have to challenge your environment, because your environment is going to keep you playing at the level that you've always played at, so that your environment doesn't lose your connection with you, right? So what is your purpose? Now, here's what I've experienced working with lots and lots of students and lots of entrepreneurs and my own journey. A lot of people struggle with clarifying their purpose for one reason and one reason only, because they don't want to make a mistake. They don't want to set something up that is going to cause them disappointment later. Okay. So mastering disappointment is freedom, right? So what if you end up making a distinction of a purpose and then later finding out that this has been your driving force throughout your entire life? And by the way, everybody's jumping on here. If you could share this with everybody else, that would be hugely important, because how many of you would love to be responsible for sharing something with somebody else that could literally be the thing that transforms their life from this point forward? We are here for a purpose. We are here for a purpose, right? And if you do not understand what your purpose is on this life, you are not going to live a meaningful life, right? And if it's your children, okay, hear this a lot. I hear this a lot. What were you doing before you had children, and what are you going to do after your children leave the nest, right? The greatest thing that you can do for your children is model what it means to live a life of adventure and purpose. That is the greatest thing that you could ever teach your children, right? And so really looking at, okay, if it's your children, what is it about living for your children that feeds your soul? Right? What is it what impact do you want to make on your children? What is the greatest thing that you could teach your children? Is learning how to go after your dreams, to go after what your purpose is, right? The purpose of a dream, this is the purpose of a dream, is you get to become the person that's going to make it a reality. Okay? Because every single one of us was, as a child, when somebody asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? Every single one of us was able to answer that question succinctly and immediately, right? Now, when we have been conditioned to not make mistakes, and we have been conditioned to believe that if I step outside of and claim something within myself, that I'm going to come up against other people that don't want to step into their dreams. And so what they're going to do is project onto me their disappointment so that I'm not disappeared. Well-meaning people that want you to be playing at the level that they want to play at. Okay. So what if your dream was calling you forward and you had to let go of some things in order for you to step into it? What if that is the purpose of your dream? What if the purpose of your dream is to be able to look at things in a different vantage point than the way you have been looking at them so far? Right? What if your dream is that very thing that it wants you to focus on it? Because where we put our focus is wherever we focus on, it's going to expand, right? But so many people have been conditioned on focusing on their limitations and their doubts rather than putting their focus and attention on their dreams. Okay? This is so important, my friend. Every single one of you has a dream inside of you, whether you want to believe it or not. Right. And you can pay attention to it by what are the things that you experience throughout your life that have set your soul on fire, that has sparked something inside of you that says, I want to make a difference in this world, and this would be a great way for me to do that. Right? Is it watching somebody speak on a TikTok video? Is it watching a TED Talk video? Is it watching an actor or an actress perform and get an Academy Award? Is it being a race car driver? Is it being a chef? Whatever that is, what is it that feeds your soul and really inspired? Like one of the things, okay, I'm just going to be completely vulnerable with everybody. One of the shows that just smoke me, and when I say smoke me, like really impact me emotionally, is America's Got Talent, right? And The reason I love that movie or that episode or whatever you want to call it, that show, is that people are fulfilling their dreams. I have a sister that went and applied for America's Got Talent, and the day she did it, she had to do it up in San Francisco, stayed outside for 2 days just to get an interview. And then by the time she got into doing her audition, she was sicker than a dog. Right. My sister has an incredible voice, but she did it. She put the effort out there and allowed herself to go through the opportunity to be able to audition for America's Got Talent. How many people do you know that have actually auditioned for America's Got Talent? Right. What is your dream? What is your dream? And then asking yourself, what is it that keeps me from stepping into that dream? Right? Because your dream is your beingness, right? Like, and this is so important. Think about this. See, we've all been sold a sham. Let me explain what a sham is. A sham is a society hypnotics altered matrix. Okay. The sham is the framework that they use for advertising. It is what they use for getting people to feel insignificant or insufficient or suffer so that they consume more products. Now, they're probably not going to like, no, just so everybody knows, this is, my other account got shut down because of the stuff that I share. So if you ever see me doing a live, you want to, I don't know if you can click notifications or whatever, so that you can get notified when I do lives, because I drop truth. I'm not interested in, I am interested in expanding your awareness so that you can step into your greatness. Right? But here is the sham. This is the marketing formula we have all been sold. You must have in order for you to do, and then you get to be. Okay? You must have the car so that you can do the cool things, and then you get to be somebody. You got to have the beverage so that you get to do these cool things, and then you get to be somebody. You got to have the hair. Like I can't it's almost consistently, every time I jump on here, I have people saying some comment about my hair. I love being bald, so I don't care. Whatever you want to think, that's cool. But understand that when you understand what the truth is, this is when you get to step into your power. The true formula is you get to be so that you can do, and then you get to have. Right? Be is coming from a place of identity. And see, the marketing formula has taught you that you are inadequate. You are without. That's why you must have. Then you get to do something. Once you have this, then you get to have an identity. Right? This is what causes us to suffer. Friends, and what I'm about to share with you is really important. If they can control your anger and your fear, then they can control how you behave. Okay? This is why it's important for you. Hey, Master Schwinn, welcome, man. I'm glad you're here. This is why it's super important for you to have a dream, right? Because if you don't have some place to put your attention and your focus, then you are going to be distracted everywhere else. See, and when you're in distraction and you're in chaos, when you're in chaos, guess what? You are burning up tons of energy that keeps you in a constant state of desperation. Think about this. If you go to a grocery store hungry, how many of you have ever gone to a grocery store hungry? Raise your hand, say I, right? How many of you have gone to a grocery store hungry? How well does that work out for you, right? The reason it doesn't work out for you is your body has taken over. Your nervous system is lit up and it says, I want to be away from this feeling as fast as possible, right? No, I am in California. Are you in Florida? So your body takes over and wants to do every single thing it can to get out of that discomfortableness, right? But we do the same thing in relationships. We do the same thing with our ability of believing whether we're intelligent or not. We do the same thing with money, right? Like when we are in a state of desperation, we are in a state of reaction, right? And when you understand you must have so that you can do and so that you can be, keeps you in a constant state of reaction, right? So this is why it's so important for you to learn and to step into who you get to be in order for you to do, and then you get to have the property. So the be is the identity, right? Like, who are you? That's a great question. Who are you? When somebody asks you, who are you? Right? Like I wear a shirt usually, and you'll see it. Like I'm going to be doing lives all the time now because now I got my account, a different account going. I have a shirt that says born to create. I am a creator. right? I create epic adventures. I create transformational mechanisms to support people in getting from where they're at to where they want to be in the shortest amount of time. I specialize in entrepreneurs, influencers, and things like that, right? This is why, and I would encourage all of you to go sign up for my challenge. It's in my bio, because there's people's lives that are radically being transformed that are going through that challenge, right? So, who are you? Who are you? And the more you can identify that, then you get to move into the do. The do is the action. What is the actions that you are taking that are aligned and congruent with who you are, right? Then the have is the property, is the result, is whatever it is that you want to create by being the person and putting in the actions to create the results. This is why it is so important to have a dream. Okay. I'll share something with you. Okay. So because this is my first live on TikTok here, I'm going to share some things that a lot of people that show up for my shows has heard me say this many, many times, is that I did not ever in my wildest dreams imagine that I would live to be to the age that I am now. I wanted to be dead by the time I was 25 years old. I did not want to live to be past 25 years of age, right? Because I was so full of wounds. I was so much pain. I was so frustrated. I felt so hopeless. And I was a full-blown alcoholic and drug addict by the time I was 13 years old. Okay. Well, when I was 19 years old, Divine had their intervention, and I almost ended my sister's life in a near fatal car accident. Of course, I was in that car too and ended up breaking my neck, and I got all broke up and stuff like that. But that's what it took to get my attention. Okay. So when you kiss death's door, it gives you a totally different perspective on what life is really meant to be. Like one of the most grateful, and I would encourage all of you to think about this. I would write this down. What is the most grateful experience you've ever had in your life? What is one of the most grateful experiences you've ever had in your life? Because gratitude is the vibration of receivership, right? And so one of the most grateful experiences I've ever had in my life is when the doctor told me that I could sleep with a pillow a year after my car accident. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is one of those moments where we take for granted the simplest things in life. Like sleep without a pillow for a year and then think about, and then take a pillow on. It's amazing. It's amazing how amazing a pillow really is, but you don't understand it until you don't have it. Right? Like I had to lay flat on my back like that for over a year. Right. And then because of my compound fracture on my right side, I wasn't able to sleep on my right side. Now, guess what side I sleep on today? I sleep on my right side. Right. So what are you most grateful for? Yes, April. Thank you. I love my pillows too. I've lost a pillow in a hotel one time and it will never happen again. Right. I love my pillows. But this is what I want you to think about. If failure wasn't an option, what would you like to do? If failure wasn't an option, what would you like to do with your life? Right? So there's a great scene in the movie The Titanic. Okay, now I'm going to be really, really vulnerable. I went and seen the Titanic when it came out all by myself because I knew how it ended. I knew the ship was going to go down, right? And I felt that I probably would get pretty emotional. And back in those days, I didn't get show much emotion back then. So I go and see this movie by myself. But there's an epic scene at the end of the Titanic. Okay. Now, if I remember right, Jack was played by Leonardo DiCaprio, and then Rose was Caitlin, whatever her name is, Rose. Jack shows Rose this incredible life, right? Like how to have fun. She was all prim and proper and had to do things a certain way to fit into society. And her mom wanted her marry some rich guy so that she could take care of herself, which is, by the way, this is called the prostitute archetype, but that's a whole other conversation. But understanding that she had to be prim and proper, cross her T's and dot her I's, right? To be sophisticated, to be accepted by people, right? Well, then Jack comes along and shows her, hey, this is what it means to live. Get up on top of the table and start dancing and have a good time and challenge the system and stand up for yourself. I'm going to drop a clue for everybody here. When you live in your truth, the results are going to be what they're supposed to be. The important thing is, though, is for you to live in your truth. This is why it's important to have a dream. So Titanic goes down, right? Jack dies. And then at the end of the movie, she goes to the back of the ship and throws that blue stone or whatever it was into the ocean. And then when they show her past, what do? They scan her room. They scan her room. And what they reveal in scanning her room, all these pictures that are on the side of her night table, end table, or whatever, are all these pictures of all these epic adventures she had created. All these epic adventures she had created in her life. See, friends, life is about creating a tapestry of an emotional experiences. Okay. What memories do we recall the easiest? The ones that are the most emotionally charged, right? First time we made love, first heartbreak, hurting somebody, car wreck, whatever it is, right? The ones that are most emotionally charged are the memories that we access the easiest, right? And so that's what life is about creating emotionally charged experiences, right? Like some of the most terrifying things that I have gone through are some of the most valuable lessons that I have ever learned in my life. Like 2022, and I know there's people on here that's heard this story many, many times, or 2021, my life was nuked. Like I lost everything, every area of my life except for my health. And I was even saying, like, I've lost everything, finances, relationships, partnerships, business, everything except for my health. And then my dog dies. Like, like what else can go, right? I had all this happen within about a 6-month period. It was right. And so, um, um, so, so going through all that has taught me how to experience deeper levels of who I am, right? So I had to go through that. And then last year I came out and created the biggest, most successful workshop that I've ever created, right? Here's my story of making an investment decision now. Okay, what am I investing into, right? Because this is what I want all of you to get. People, when they die and they're asked this question, what do you regret? It's not what people did that they regret. It's what they didn't do, right? And so I want you to think about, what do you want to create in your life? What do you want to create in your life? Because you are doing it automatically already, right? And if you want to take your life to a whole other level, then you have to get intentional about how you're showing up and how you're being, that is going to be aligned with creating that. Okay. Somebody put in, not sure if you heard this, Rose is Sarah Connor's Terminator grandmother, and Jack was sent back to her. Oh, that's an interesting theory. That's an interesting, really, really, really interesting theory, because yeah, if you know that Terminator and the Matrix was actually stolen, literally stolen from a book called The Third Eye. Save me some females. Brother, I would, yeah, that seems like a lot of work to me. I'm not interested in saving anybody. I'm here to support people and guide them into their greatness. I don't want to save anybody. That's a lot of work. That's not my responsibility. But I want to say all this to you. What is your dream? What is your dream? Right? And what is it that kept you from stepping into it and owning it? Right? Because, okay, you guys, this is what happens to me. I get on these lives and I start talking, and it's like all of a sudden all this stuff comes out. This is our biggest fear, my friend. I'm going to share it with you, your biggest fear. Our biggest fear is being separated from our tribe. Now you might ask, Jeff, what does that mean? Okay. Now, back in the day, back in the Bronze Age and medieval times and all that stuff, they didn't execute people, they exiled them, right? Why? Because being exiled was far more painful than being executed. So at a primal level, our biggest fear is being separated from our tribe. Okay. So how does that, what are the implications of that? That means that if you were told by your peers or by your authority figures in your developmental years that it's not possible to go after your dreams, you will not challenge that belief, because in challenging that belief, you will be separated from your tribe. Okay. And so this is what we have to look at. Who is running your life? Who are you living your life for? So many of us get along to get by, right? We don't want to challenge the system, because us believing challenge the system is going to end up in being abandoned, being separated from our tribe, right? And yet this is our greatest opportunity. This is our greatest opportunity. What if failure wasn't an option? And actually, failure is nothing more than an illusion, right? So what is your dream? What is your dream? What is your dream? Right? Somebody put in here investment decision. Okay, making an investment decision now. Great statement. What are you investing into? I'm going to share what your greatest investment is. Your greatest investment is in yourself. Because guess what the common denominator is in every domain of your life? It's you. So your reflection of your relationships, the reflection of your health, the reflection of your money, the reflection of the impact that you're going to make in all this is a result of what you invest into yourself. And whoever invests the most into you has most of your money. Okay. I would encourage you to take control of that and get into environments that are going to be conducive and aligned with what it is that you truly want to create, which is why I created the ROI Accelerator Challenge. Okay. You can access it by going to the ROIAcceleratorChallenge.com. The link's in my bio, right? I'm going to be doing it at the end of January again. Open it up right now. Get on the waiting list because like spots are limited, and the ones that get on there are the ones that are going to really make things happen. People's lives are being transformed. But see, life will take you serious when you take yourself serious. Now, that doesn't mean be serious. It means like laughing and being grateful is part of being serious, right? But the more you show up for yourself, it's going to be interesting that the life is going to show up for you the same way. The more responsibility, my ability to respond is what responsibility means. The more responsibility you take for your life, the more life is going to do what it can to support you in achieving the dreams that you want to make happen. What is your dream, my friend? What is your dream? Like, answer that succinctly. Spend time with that. Be obsessed with that, right? And then whatever it comes up with, and then ask yourself, what is important to you about that, right? We were put on this earth to make a fingerprint. We were put here as an energetic signature, as a divine expression, unique divine expression to make a difference in this world. Now, that doesn't mean numbers, right? Like, you don't, making a difference in this world can be 2 people. It can be 10 people. It can be 200. It can be 20,000, right? The quantity is not as important as the quality. Right? So think about, this is one of the things that I love creating trillionaires. Okay. Now people go, well, wait a minute. There's not been any trillionaires created. Got it. Okay. Someday there's going to be. And those some days is going to be what I catalyzed today. Right? Like I take people from being five a month, 5-figure income month earners and turn them into 6-figure income a month earners. I move them from 7 to 8 to 9 figures within their businesses. Right? Do I have issues with male realtors coming to you? No. I've been contained. Oh God. Some of you people, like, I'm just curious. I got walk for sale. What are you hoping to create with that kind of statement? Like, really? People just amaze me. So I want you to clear what is it you want to create, right? And the other thing that's important about that is having flexibility, right? Because once you put it into motion and you become that person that's going to make that a reality, how are you going? Are you going to be flexible within that so that you can still have a life of fulfillment, right? That's where you get to live a life of fulfillment. That's where you get to have people reflecting. See, this is one of the things that is tried. So like a lot of you guys, like I promise you haven't been around this sun even close to what I have been around. And I want to share something with all of you. There's going to be a time when all of us pass. There's going to be a time when all of us pass. And there's going to have this thing called a funeral. Okay? What do you want people to be saying about you as you lie in that box? What do you want people to be saying about you when you lie in that box? Okay? That's what I encourage you to start living your life as. Because there's going to be a time, like, your life can be gone like that. I already know. Like, I did not ever in my wildest dreams imagine that I would wake up and somebody would be telling me that my sister's across the street fighting for her life as a result of me being irresponsible and drunk. Never in my wildest dreams thought I'd be there. Okay? Life is precious. Life is fragile, right? And the more intentional you get about what it is that you really want to create, the more epic and fulfilling your life is going to be. And okay, smart guy, I'm not smart by any means stretch of the imagination. I've just been around for a while, and I've made some bonehead moves that have cost me immensely. And so my journey is to do what I can to support people's learning curves, right? The greatest mentor is the ones that have lived experiences that can teach somebody else not what to do so that they can shorten their learning curve, right? I've got a PhD in life, and most of my life has been, lots of amazing adventures. So I appreciate everybody being here. Again, I would encourage you to post, what is your dream? Like, give your dream life. Give your dream life. Breathe into it. Breathe into it. Because a fulfilled life is giving. How do I trust a guy with a virtual background? Don't know. How would you do that? Like, then you can trust nobody on TV, right? Like, what determines if you can trust somebody? I would ask you that question, right? So I appreciate everybody being here so much. It's good to be on TikTok Live again. It's the first time I've been on here in a couple months, so it's good to be on here again. And yes, welcome to 2023. Let's make this the most extraordinary year of your life. Let's make this the most extraordinary year of your life, because there's never, ever, ever been a time in history of humanity where it is possible to make a difference as it is today. There's no excuses anymore, right? And let me be the one that can support you and guide you to make your dreams a reality. So much love to everybody, and I will see you Thursday night. Until then, have an amazing week. And as always, live like your life depends on it, because it does. Be blessed, my friends.